Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor. Saint Woodcutter cast his gaze across the opposing ranks, where several devil gods had arrived, each bringing along their most cherished disciples. Those young devil experts stood like iron towers, their auras surging fiercely like raging tides. Their corporeal bodies were terrifyingly robust, brimming with explosive strength. Clearly, they were warriors tempered through countless life and death struggles. He had crossed blades with the devil race before, and understood their might deeply. In terms of corporeal bodies alone, even divine arts practitioners from Supreme Emperor Heaven, though possessing the aptitude of true gods, would still fall slightly short. Furthermore, due to the ceaseless wars that plagued Supreme Emperor Heaven, frequent clashes with the devil race left little room for the establishment of academies and schools, such as those in Eternal Peace. Large sects could not take root. Instead, it was common for gods to personally select and nurture exceptional talents. This method bore both benefit and flaw. The advantage lay in the direct guidance of gods and devils, each disciple thus forged into a peerless elite, their abilities honed to terrifying levels. The inheritance of paths, techniques, and divine arts within Supreme Emperor Heaven was flawless. Even god-level techniques could be passed down without loss. Sanghua herself, for instance, had been personally instructed by her father, Sangye. Yet the drawback was equally stark. A disciple could only inherit what their master possessed, nothing more. Learning the ultimate arts of others became exceedingly difficult. Sanghua cultivated only Sangye's techniques and divine arts, and had never touched a divine art beyond her father's grasp. Even if she were to learn one, it would lack the depth and refinement of Sangye's teachings. Thus, without exposure to the arts of others, one's mastery became narrow and specialized. This stagnated the evolution of paths, skills, and divine arts within Supreme Emperor Heaven, rendering them far inferior to the flourishing diversity of Eternal Peace. Qinmu could perceive this truth. Therefore, Saint Woodcutter naturally saw it as well. His gaze shifted toward the youth who was still engrossed in forging. Doubt stirred within his heart. When I witnessed him in peril upon the battlefield, I executed a divine art he could comprehend, and he grasped it instantly, escaping danger. By all logic, this successor of mine should possess unparalleled talent, having cultivated my teachings to perfection. Only then could he comprehend my divine art in a single instant. Yet why does he now appear so unreliable? Could my judgment truly have erred? At that moment, a god approached and bowed respectfully. Heavenly Master, the experts of the Seven Stars realm from Supreme Emperor Heaven have arrived. Saint Woodcutter's gaze shifted, and he nodded faintly. Let them enter. Sanghua's eyes swept across the crowd, and suddenly they shone brightly. The one who threshes grains, that girl is Yu He. She's the #1 divine arts practitioner of the Seven Stars realm. Qinmu drew a sword from within the blazing wall of fire and inspected it closely. The heat had yet to fully permeate it, so he returned it to the flames. Sanghua was brimming with excitement. Yu He is the disciple of true god Pang Yu. She has passed the trial of the God Suppression Pagoda and slain 3 devil experts at the level of young true devils. She's recognized as the strongest in the Seven Stars realm. Look, that girl with her hair tied high like a small pagoda. She's incredibly beautiful. The Black Tiger god turned his gaze toward Yu He. Her expression was cold as frost. She removed her earrings and bracelets, then adjusted her attire, shedding all unnecessary weight. It was clear she was preparing for a battle of life and death. She is indeed formidable, the Black Tiger god praised. She has cast aside all excess for unrestricted movement, a warrior forged through countless battles. The one who threshes grains, look, the top 10 divine arts practitioners of the Seven Stars realm have all arrived. Wait, that's not right. 2 are missing. Could they have fallen in battle? Qinmu paid her no heed. His focus remained on forging. With a shift, he transformed into the true form of Mercury Sovereign, drawing in frigid water vapor to temper the blade. Grasping the flying sword, he infused it with vital qi. Rubbing it between his palms, he compressed the gleaming blade into a pellet. He nodded with satisfaction. Sanghua's excitement surged even further. Look, that's Shu Yao. His master was true god Yan Shuo, who unfortunately fell in battle against Fu Riluo. But Shu Yao himself is terrifyingly strong. He carries the bearing of a master. His techniques are domineering, and his divine arts fierce. He walks the path of refining the corporeal body into sainthood. The black tiger god observed Xu Yao. The youth stood calm and composed, as though even the collapse of heaven would not stir him. Surrounded by gods and devils, his expression remained unchanged. He is far steadier than the one who threshes grains, who looks around in wonder without end. This Xu Yao is also an expert. The black tiger god remarked. Xu Yao approached. He was earnest, his bearing tranquil and unwavering. The companions beside him were equally extraordinary. Whether male or female, each exuded a dense killing aura. Clearly, they had just emerged from the crucible of battle. Sanghua's excitement reached its peak. Those who have walked out of the God's Suppression Pagoda are all young legends. That's Huang Yu over there. He has survived countless major battles and is renowned for his military achievements. He's also a disciple of true god Pang Yu and was the fastest to pass through the pagoda, though his ranking is only third. Qin Mu calmly stored the completed flying swords, feeding the unfinished ones back into the Li fire, working tirelessly without pause. The black tiger god turned his attention to Huang Yue. The youth radiated the aura of a martial fanatic. Even now, he continued cultivating as he walked, executing his technique without interruption. Clouds drifted above his head. His technique was peculiar, and he had already cultivated his primordial spirit. Though it could not yet manifest outwardly, it was capable of breathing in vital qi. The clouds above him were the manifestation of his primordial spirit condensing vital qi. This man's cultivation is incredibly solid. The black tiger god's eyes gleamed. Another martial fanatic, but his thoughts are pure. He harbors no distractions, only the pursuit of strength. His mental state is therefore exceptionally stable. The one who threshes grains, long braid girl, you should both learn from him. Sanghua quickly nodded, understanding his guidance. The black tiger god then glanced at Qin Mu, who continued feeding swords into the fire and hammering them, purging impurities. The black tiger god's face darkened. Yu He's gaze shifted, landing upon Qin Mu as he forged. She frowned slightly. Junior sister Sanghua, who is this person? Sanghua smiled, her tone filled with admiration. This is Qin Mu from another world. His Qin is the Qin from threshing grains. Senior sister, you became famous across the world after the Battle of Shi City. Yu He's expression darkened. Yet Shi City still fell to the enemy. The devils are indeed slightly stronger than us. However, the divine arts practitioners of Supreme Emperor Heaven are no weaker. They merely suffer from being outnumbered. Xu Yao stepped forward, smiling gently at Sanghua. Junior sister Sanghua, you have yet to enter the God Suppression Pagoda, correct? Your abilities are impressive, and you have improved greatly since we last met. You will surely pass the trial. Sanghua's heart swelled with pride. Xu Yao glanced at Qin Mu, frowning slightly. And this is Qin Mu, the one who threshes grains. Yu He sighed softly. He's from another world, and his temperament is peculiar. He came all this way to forge. Sanghua blushed faintly, lowering her voice. Qin Mu is extremely powerful. He possesses a gate I've never seen before. Wherever it passes, nothing survives. He has slain numerous devil experts. He also wields Moon Jade Eyes, which killed Fu Yuxiao in a single strike. His attainments in algebra are extremely high, but his medical skills are even greater, and his forging surpasses even his algebra. Fu Riluo's disciple, Fu Yuxiao, was killed by him? Shock rippled through the group. They all turned to Qin Mu, who remained absorbed in forging. Yu He spoke calmly. Senior brother Qin's treasures are indeed extraordinary. The others nodded. Fu Yuxiao was a renowned expert among the younger generation, a celestial being realm powerhouse. For Qin Mu to slay him, it must have been due to the Moon Jade Eye. It wasn't solely the treasure, Sanghua added hesitantly. He said he used algebra to calculate Fu Yuxiao's next move before striking. Her voice grew uncertain. Algebra? The group shook their heads. Huang Yue spoke indifferently. What use is algebra? It neither increases combat strength nor contributes to cultivation. It only wastes time. The black tiger god coughed lightly. Everyone, settle your minds. Fierce battles await. My lord has already clashed with Fu Riluo numerous times with no clear victor. Thus, a new method has been proposed. The younger generation shall determine the fate of Li City through combat. We must rely on all of your abilities to reclaim it. Xu Yao frowned at Qin Mu. How are we to calm our minds with this senior brother forging here? The others nodded in agreement. The Black Tiger God sighed helplessly. Please forgive him. His mental state differs from yours. He relies on forging to stabilize it. Suddenly, Huang Yue's gaze sharpened, his voice hoarse. Jie Huali, Fu Riluo's most prized disciple. I encountered him on the battlefield before. In the darkness, I nearly died by his hand, only saved by timely reinforcements. Xu Yao also fixed his gaze upon the devil youth. The blade on his back trembled, emitting a low cry. I have fought him as well, and lost. Perhaps only senior sister Yuhi can defeat him. Yuhei shook her head. I faced him earlier on the battlefield. Though we were separated after 2 moves, it was enough. I am not completely confident in defeating him. You must all be cautious. The Black Tiger God studied Jie Huali and was slightly startled. The youth appeared refined and scholarly. Nothing about him suggested a devil. This is wrong. He is not a devil, but a human. The Black Tiger God's heart trembled. He lowered his voice. He is not merely Fu Riluo's disciple. He hails from the upper bound. Yu He, Xu Yao, and Huang Yue were all stunned. Before they could question further, the Black Tiger God leapt into the sky. My lord, there is something strange about Jie Huali's origin. He is not a devil, but from the upper bound. Saint Woodcutter nodded, his gaze steady. Fu Riluo, it seems you too are connected to the so-called celestial heavens. This disciple of yours, whose student is he among the high gods? Fu Riluo laughed heartily. Jie Huali's foundation is solid, and his devil technique rivals my own. He is my most valued disciple. Your guess is correct. His background is extraordinary. He has another master, one you are familiar with, the knife god, Wushuang. Saint Woodcutter's expression darkened. Divine Knife Luo Wushuang, the top general of the Spirit Elite Guards, an old acquaintance indeed. I never expected you to be connected to him. Qin Mu, who had been forging, suddenly stilled. His ears twitched. He set down his hammer and raised his head. What guards? What Wushuang? Spirit Elite Guards, Luo Wushuang. Yuhi spoke calmly. My master once mentioned him. Luo Wushuang is a one-armed knife god from ancient times, a true god with peerless blade techniques. Qin Mu was stunned. A memory surfaced. The night 40,000 years ago. Luo Wushuang of the Spirit Elite Guards. That night, he had stood firm, shielding others, and severed one of Luo Wushuang's arms. Could they be the same person? Qin Mu swiftly turned his gaze toward Jie Huali. Xu Yao smiled faintly. Senior brother Qin, who threshes grains, why have you stopped forging? Qin Mu did not respond. Across the field, Jie Huali felt the weight of Qin Mu's gaze. He raised his head, their eyes locking. Qin Mu's gaze shifted to the blade upon Jie Huali's back, a long, sinister knife. Its hilt bore a single eye. That eye slowly opened and stared directly at Qin Mu. Jie Huali examined Qin Mu's face, his expression shifting to disbelief. He retrieved a scroll, comparing it before looking again. Suddenly, a smile of delight spread across his face. Qin Mu's gaze remained fixed upon the demonic blade as he spoke solemnly. Sister Sanghua, if I told you that I was the one who severed Divine Knife Luo Wushuang's arm, would you believe me? Translator, Atlas Studios. Atlas Studios. Divine Knife Luo Wushuang's arm was severed by your hand? The crowd and the surroundings felt as though they had heard the most absurd tale beneath heaven. Even the ever-composed Xu Yao could not restrain her laughter, her voice like light chimes ringing. Senior brother Qin, who threshes grain amidst iron and flame, best focus your spirit upon forging. Qin Mu shifted his gaze aside, yet a strange solemnity gathered upon his face, like a storm quietly brewing behind still waters. In that instant, Yu He, Huang Yue, Xu Yao, Sanghua, and the others instinctively stepped back, their expressions clouded with bewilderment. For that fleeting heartbeat, the youth at the forge was no longer merely a blacksmith. He was a blade about to be drawn from its sheath. Radiance seemed poised to erupt in every direction. His spirit, keen and chilling, pressed upon them like an unseen edge, yet remained concealed, bound within the scabbard, refusing to reveal itself. Moved by instinct alone, the youths withdrew, evading that terrifying surge of battle intent and killing aura. Clang! Clang! The rhythm of hammer striking metal rang out once more, echoing like steady thunder as Qin Mu returned to the smelting table. His focus settled entirely upon refining his flying swords, as though nothing had transpired. The others exchanged glances, unable to determine whether their senses had deceived them in that brief moment. Meanwhile, upon the opposing side, a female devil standing beside Jehwali cast a glance and exclaimed in astonishment, "The figure in your painting bears striking resemblance to that brat forging over there." Jehwali calmly rolled up the painting, tucking it away as one would conceal a treasured secret. His voice was indifferent, yet carried an undercurrent of depth. "My master has searched for him for a long time. He once said the height his knife path has reached was all thanks to that person. Before I descended to the lower bound, the old man demonstrated his blade technique for me and entrusted me with this painting. He wished for me to find that man and display my knife before him." The female devil shivered faintly, then let out a soft chuckle. "Your master seems deeply concerned with this individual. His command is for you to let this forging brat witness the might of your blade. I can sense hatred within your master's heart, yet there is also a trace of reverence. Still, that brat is but a youth. How could he have drawn such attention?" Jehwali's gaze fell upon Qin Mu, sharp as a drawn blade. "That I do not know. Only a few months ago, Master even traversed realms to contact me, saying the one he sought had appeared. He urged me to journey to that world in search of him. Yet with the Great War approaching, I had no leisure to do so. Never did I expect to encounter him here." He exhaled slowly, his breath trembling faintly. "For the knife god to hold him in such regard, I too wish to meet him." Qin Mu, still forging, revealed no emotion upon his face. His hammer rose and fell in measured cadence, as though the world beyond the forge had no bearing upon him. Yet Jehwali could sense it clearly. His gaze unsettled the youth, stirring subtle discomfort. As his eyes fixed upon Qin Mu, he saw the youth's posture shift ever so slightly. Jehwali smiled, unable to suppress the rising excitement within his heart. The eye embedded within the demon knife quivered with anticipation, rotating slowly as it swelled in size, its hue deepening into a sinister crimson. At that moment, Fu Riluo's voice resounded like a celestial drum. "Heavenly Master, since all have gathered, let us begin. Shall we establish rules?" "Rules? In a struggle of life and death, what place is there for rules?" Fu Riluo laughed, his voice shaking the heavens. Within the courtyard, the black spear trembled violently. The plaza beneath cracked apart, and thunderous explosions erupted from the ground as ravines tore outward in all directions. The footing beneath Qin Mu and the others became instantly unstable. They hastily mobilized their vital chi to steady themselves. St. Woodcutter raised his brows, and the colossal axe answered his will, trembling as it clashed against the devil's spear. The collision of these two divine weapons tore open the very fabric of space at the center of the plaza, stretching it outward. Amid the world-shaking detonations, Qin Mu and the others felt their expressions change drastically. The land beneath their feet surged upward violently. They could no longer stand firmly upon both legs, forced instead to balance upon one as the terrain expanded without restraint. The plaza's landscape transformed in an instant. Mountains erupted from nothingness, and the distance between them widened ceaselessly. The clash of divine power between the two weapons expanded the plaza, as though an infinite force was sculpting mountains out of the void itself. Ravines intertwined, peaks rose, and the terrain stretched endlessly into the horizon. This awe-inspiring display caused the youths to lift their heads in silent wonder. Qin Mu stared at the transformation unfolding before his eyes, astonishment surging through him. The once flat plaza resembled a blue sea turning into mulberry fields, undergoing changes that would ordinarily require hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years. All within mere moments. This was the might of gods and devils, the kind of power unattainable by mortals. Only now did he truly perceive the boundless strength wielded by a true god. Such power was far beyond what Xing'an, that pieced-together deity, could ever hope to possess. For Fu Riluo to stand against St. Woodcutter, his abilities are indeed extraordinary. Qin Mu's heart trembled as he sensed his flying swords. A portion of them remained within the Li Fire and Devil Fire, still undergoing calcination, and he had not recalled them in time. Without hesitation, he summoned them back. In the distance, the flying swords rose, over 20 miles away. Yet what he witnessed next was profoundly strange. Though the swords moved at incredible speed, the distance between them and Qin Mu continued to grow. It was as if the world itself was expanding, space stretching faster than even the flight of his swords. Boom! Suddenly, space shuddered violently. The mountains ceased their growth, and the expansion halted. Stability returned. The flying swords shot toward him with a piercing whistle. Qin raised his hand, and they collided midair, condensing into a spinning sword pellet. He exhaled softly in relief and surveyed his surroundings. Sanghua and the others were nowhere to be seen. Countless mountains surrounded him. Though none rose particularly high, they resembled the mountains of the outside world, yet diminished in scale by more than tenfold. Qin sliced off a fragment of rock and examined it closely before crushing it into powder. Moments later, the fragments dissolved into fine rune markings, emitting a final faint glow before scattering into the wind and vanishing entirely. They are indeed unreal. Qin straightened his back, his gaze sweeping across the land. These mountains stretching endlessly must have been conjured by Fu Riluo and Saint Woodcutter through the power of runes. Their mastery had not yet reached the realm of true creation. At that moment, Fu Riluo's voice boomed once more, like thunder descending from the void. In battles of life and death, there are no rules. This sand table shall be their battlefield. Each side will field 10 participants. The victorious side shall claim triumph. What say you? Qin heart stirred. Sand table? He raised his head and looked toward the heavens. There beyond the sky loomed the immense faces of Fu Riluo and Saint Woodcutter, vast as celestial bodies drifting in the cosmos. Then, though the plaza appears boundless within, from the outside it remains unchanged. Endless astonishment filled Qin heart. Such a phenomenon defied all imagination. Before arriving, he had already measured the plaza's dimensions. A palace stood upon each side, corresponding to left yin and right yang. He had walked along the main road, ascended the steps, and entered the plaza. Its width did not exceed 100 yards, and its length was but 150 yards. Steps on either side led to the adjacent palaces. From above, the arrangement of the two palaces and the plaza formed the Li divinatory trigram, thus giving birth to Li Fire. Now, though the internal space had expanded countless times, externally it remained unchanged. Still 100 by 150 yards, still embodying the Li trigram, with its twin palace halls. To Saint Woodcutter, Fu Riluo, Pang Yu, and the other gods and devils, Qin existed upon a mere sand table. His every movement was as clear as patterns upon their palm. Qin narrowed his eyes. 2 paths lay before him. One led back to the palace hall, where he could continue refining his swords within Li Fire. The other led to the heart of this sand table world. That was where the axe and spear clashed. Rather than wander aimlessly, it would be wiser to head where all would converge. Any discerning mind would realize that the first to reach the crossing point of axe and spear would gain advantage. Arriving early meant setting traps and formations, awaiting others to fall into their grasp. I have refined 316 swords. That will suffice. Qin moved, his figure blurred as he surged forward, Cripple's heaven-pilfering divine legs unleashed to their utmost limit. He became like flowing light, streaking across the land. Boom! His speed shattered the sound barrier. The air before him exploded into white clouds, vapor brushing against his face as he pierced through it. At that moment, thunderous booms echoed across the mountains. Qin turned his gaze toward the source. Figures in the distance had also broken through the limits of sound, leaving behind expanding rings of vapor amidst the peaks. Those circular clouds spread outward, striking and unmistakable. There were 19 such clouds. 19 experts, each possessing bodies powerful enough to surpass the speed of sound. Clearly, they had all discerned the same truth. Whoever reached the convergence of axe and spear first would hold the upper hand. Veins bulged upon Qin forehead. Only now did he realize, among the 20 participants within this sand table world, he was the slowest. Even Sanghua's speed surpassed his slightly. These 19 were all beings comparable to young true gods. Their cultivation techniques had elevated their bodies beyond Qin current limits. For the first time, the speed he had always taken pride in was outmatched. Suddenly, Qin halted. Without hesitation, he turned and retreated. If all gathered at the convergence point, that place would become the most perilous. None could outpace the others decisively. Thus, arrival would mean collision. 20 divine arts practitioners clashing in chaotic battle. Within such chaos, even the strongest could fall. Since that was the case, better not to go at all. In the next instant, the 19 rushing figures vanished, disappearing from sight as though swallowed by the world itself. Qin Mu was momentarily stunned, his expression turning grave. Those who have survived this long in Supreme Emperor Heaven are no fools. All have reached the same conclusion. Interesting. I have finally met worthy opponents. A faint smile curved upon his lips. In that case, I shall not seek you. I will let you come to me. His figure tore through the air once more, racing toward the edge of the sand table world. There, a towering wall of fire stretched for dozens of miles, the burning palace forming a boundary between Lee Fire and Devil Fire. After a short while, the rhythmic sound of hammer-striking iron echoed through the sand table world, audible even 10 miles away. Soon, Qin Mu saw the first arrival. It was a graceful and alluring young woman, her figure elegant as a willow swaying in the wind. The 10 divine arts practitioners of Supreme Emperor Heaven are all formidable, but you are the weakest among them. The girl gazed at Qin Mu's back and let out a soft, teasing laugh. I lack confidence against the others, so I shall claim the first merit by defeating you. Sister. Qin Mu turned his head, revealing a radiant smile that seemed to conceal countless secrets. You may have kicked a piece of hard iron. Pasted text.